Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Health Made Easy. I'm your host, Dr. Jason Jones, and we are wrapping up this series on protein. It's been a little bit controversial. Oh, and this last one is really going to be that way because we're going to talk about why protein is demonized by some researchers and why they're wrong. There's been a lot of controversial opinions thrown around by different researchers on protein, especially over the last 50 years, trying to get you to eat these higher carbohydrate diets, and the average person out there is often just left at a crossroads, whether like, is protein helpful for my health, or how much should I have in a day, and then whether or not I should abandon animal protein and depend on plant proteins, those kinds of things. While the body can manufacture some of the 21 amino acids, the essential category must come from the foods that we eat, and many of the essential amino acids you cannot get or cannot get in appropriate amounts from plant-based sources. So some researchers have demonized proteins, citing the following reasons I'm going to give you. High consumption of protein increases one's risk for diabetes. Wrong. We're going to debunk all these myths that we got here. High protein diets hasten puberty and are associated with breast cancer in girls. Protein is associated with high health conditions such as heart disease, cancer, and obesity. Eating red meat and processed meat products regularly accelerate risk for cancer, premature deaths, unhealthy weight gain, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and heart disease. And the reason I'm flying through these is one, I got to state them, and two, I just want you to understand how ridiculous they are. Proteins contain high levels of specific amino acids such as methionine that may harm metabolism, thus affecting one's organisms, your longevity, and your healthy metabolic reactions. Eating more protein is harmful to your kidneys, and then high consumption of proteins may lead to low bone density. Okay, now, does protein have detrimental health effects? Well, despite the many misconceptions about protein, there is no adequate scientific evidence to support the claims that protein is indeed harmful to human health. The reason some researchers may be wrong to have demonized protein is because of the following. Although it is helpful to restrict protein consumption among those with pre-existing kidney issues, there is no empirical proof of the association between kidney damage and protein consumption among healthy individuals. See, correlation is not causation. Okay, various studies indicate that consuming more protein lowers blood pressure and helps suppress diabetes, which is both kidney, like both kidney risk disease factors. There is scientific evidence that protein intake, along with other nutrients such as calcium and vitamin D, helps prevent osteoporosis. While blaming protein for conditions such as cardiovascular disease, unhealthy weight gain, obesity, stroke, type 2 diabetes, and cancer, the researchers have not considered the underlying issues that may lead to these similar conditions. The real culprits are excessive added sugar consumption, terrible bad seed oils and fats, some genetic disorders, horrible lifestyle choices over a long amount of time, and some other factors. Only particular protein sources such as processed meat products are linked with increased risk for cancer. Okay, so don't eat crappy meat. There's your bumper sticker right there. In health promotion and disease prevention, what matters is nutrient density and overall quality rather than the exact macronutrient content. Studies linking higher intakes of protein to increased risks for certain health conditions are not clear whether the researchers considered other factors such as age, individual body weight, physical activity, body composition goals, body weight, special conditions such as pregnancy and illness. Generally, there is no adequate scientific evidence that protein is harmful to human health. Moreover, studies suggest that the protein package, what it comes in, rather than the absolute quantity, matters in human metabolism and overall well-being. Certain proteins, such as red and processed meats, can harm your health. However, not in and of themselves, okay? And it's not for everybody. I'm a huge proponent of red meat, and I think I eat red meat on the regular, and I think it's phenomenal for people. However, if you're eating nasty feedlot meat on a regular basis over a long period of time, chances are it might not be good for you. However, there are a lot of other options that you have. You can have poultry, you can have eggs, you can have seafood, you can do some dairy products, you can do plant sources, like legumes and whole grains and beans and nuts and seeds that we talked about. But you just got to understand that protein is one of those things that's just been thrown by the wayside and seen as not necessary as long as we eat from the food pyramid, or we eat like these gurus tell us to do, or God forbid you eat a extremely high fat diet for a long period of time, and by high fat I mean the biggest percentage of your calories come from fat, or the biggest percentage of your calories come from carbohydrates. You got to strike a balance, and you got to strike the balance that's going to work for you. So how do you know if it's working for you? You do something over a long enough timeline and you track it. Okay, you don't get your emotions all tied up in it. You track it strategically, and you see, does it help me? Does it not help me? How are my blood markers? Are they getting better? Are they not? So just cutting things out or just adding things in willy-nilly and not measuring what you're doing is not going to give you a real idea of what's really going on. So I hope in this series we've understood that protein is essential for life. Okay, you must have it. You are probably not getting near enough. You need to be eating more protein, and you need to be getting it regularly, and I don't even care if it takes you an extra meal to get in your adequate amount of protein in there, because you will lose muscle mass, you will lose strength, you will age prematurely, you will not heal and repair the way you were designed to do. So it is so critical that you make sure you get plenty of protein in. This is Dr. Jason Jones signing out. Agree or disagree, that's okay. Send me a message. We can have a chat about it, and we'll see you on the next podcast. Bye-bye.